YouTube. What up, family? It's so crazy that I'm actually making a YouTube channel now. Like, this is something I've been thinking on for years and years and years now. So the fact that I'm actually doing it is kind of crazy. Like, talking to a camera, I'm gonna definitely have to get used to it. But welcome to the channel. As far as what you guys could expect from me, definitely a whole lot of fitness content, a whole lot of day trading content. And yeah, the main purpose for this channel is really just to document my life. I feel like what better time to start than now? I feel like this is actually the perfect time to start recording, especially because you guys know how when there's a lot of pressure being built up in something and like you could tell that it's about to burst. Like, it's just so much pressure, you could just tell like it's about to go crazy. I feel like that's the best way to describe my journey right now. Like, I've been on like my trading journey for so long now at this point, and the fact that like I'm consistent is kind of crazy. It's like your dreams are starting to come to a reality. All that you've been working for is finally coming to fruition. So I'm excited to just document my journey now more than ever. So yeah, you guys could expect to see a whole lot of trading stuff, a whole lot of fitness content. Well, let me start with trading. So I first got into trading, I want to say it was my, I think it was like my sophomore year of college. I'm 25 now. It was my sophomore year of college. Now, of course, I got into day trading just like most people did that started around that time. This is like 2019, 2020, that era. Most people got into it because of IML. Of course, typical, we hate them. But upon joining, that's when I found out that like these people are not about actually trading and gaining the skill and the knowledge of trading in the financial markets. They want to sell a lifestyle and they want to recruit people and whatnot. So that's really what it was heavy on. So once I found out that that's what it was about, I stopped doing that. And then I took it upon myself to actually learn the skill set of day trading. So I've been on that journey, and now I'm seeing success with it. So I want to document it, and before I start to go crazy, and I say this humbly, but it's just like when you've been working so hard for something and it's finally coming true, like, and you can see the fruits of your labor happen like right in front of your eyes, like it's different. So I just want to make sure I'm getting it all on camera to share with everybody, and then also so that way when I look back on it years from now, like I know and I can always remember the start. So that's that in terms of trading. And then when it comes to fitness, I would say like my fitness journey really started. I've been on this journey seriously for about a year now. I think you guys should be able to see on this channel, like I've posted some shorts, some fitness shorts and some fitness Instagram reels and whatnot. So you guys would be able to see that. But I've been on the fitness journey, and I started taking fitness seriously, really because working a 9 to 5 is super taxing on you, right? Like, and I think it's important when you're going through that, like when you're going through just a hard time to figure out what your outlet is. And fitness was that outlet for me. Literally every day after work, I would hit the gym, and it would make me feel good about myself. It would make me feel accomplished, and it would make me feel like I was doing something actually to pour back into myself, opposed to just slaving away for somebody else all day and doing work that I quite frankly don't really give a shit about. So yeah, so like I said, from this channel, you should be expecting to see a whole lot of fitness content, a whole lot of trading content, leaning more towards that trading side, but definitely want to incorporate a lot of things in my life that's going on in my life. Definitely vlogs, a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I'm excited for you guys to come along the journey with me. So yeah, with that being said, let's hop right into my weekly trade breakdown. And I'm gonna try to be as consistent as possible with this channel. As new things are constantly developing in my life, I want to make sure I pick up the camera and start recording. So with that being said, let's hop right in. Oh, one more thing. Like on this channel, when it comes to trading content, like I definitely want to drop as much free game as possible. So soak up whatever knowledge you can. I'm here to be a light to the world. It's something I've always dreamed of, is just giving back to others and pouring into others. So definitely gonna be dropping some free content.
All right, so before we hop into the charts, I do think it's extremely important to give people their flowers whenever you feel like they've done something memorable or something great. And so I guess with that being said, I do want to give both Alex and Sai their props, because I would say those two people are really the main reasons why I am the trader that I am today. I would say a lot of my foundational skills really came from Alex, and then the person that really made things click and made me turn it up a notch and took my level of understanding to the next level, to the point where I'm able to make profits consistently. I would definitely have to give credit to Sai. So thank you both for that, for the knowledge. But yeah, let's dive right in. So usually when I approach the markets, I always start off on the daily time frame, and I'm looking for like those major areas where price is going to have a reaction from, and overall kind of get a gauge on the direction. And so starting with GBP AUD, this was the first trade that I took of the week, and it actually ended up being a loser. But let me break it down to you. So looking on the daily time frame, you can see that we have a level of support and resistance right here, a major level right here, and that's pretty much all I marked up on this daily time frame. And then if you look at the direction, it looks like price, like current price action, is headed in a bullish, in the bullish direction. So my bias going into this day was buys. I would say the downside to it is that if you look at this Friday candle, price is like, this is an extremely bearish candle. So maybe paying attention to this candle a little bit more. I would have had I guess more so proceeded on the side of caution when seeing how much bearish momentum stepped into the market at this daily level of resistance. But me, I was under the impression that we could potentially still push up from this level. But hopping down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see this upward structure a little bit more. So we see price was originally on this downtrend, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price broke structure here at this point, created a higher low point, another higher high, higher low, higher high. And then when price was coming down, this is where I was anticipating that higher low to be, at this daily level of resistance, right? And also when it comes to the 4-hour time frame, I also like to draw like certain zones that I think price can react from. So I highlighted this zone and also this zone because this was a major structure point on this 4-hour time frame. And then hopping down to the 1-hour time frame now, usually, and this is where like size methodology comes in. I trade ICC, so usually I'm looking for my indication on either the 1-hour or 30-minute time frame. No other time frame other than that. You can apply ICC to those higher time frames, but for me and my strategy and like my tweak on things, it's always going to be the 1-hour and the 30-minute. And that's one thing a lot of traders have to understand as well. Like even if you learn from any trader, it could be Q, it could be Raul, anybody, you have to make sure that you're tweaking the strategy to make it your own. You're not going to ever trade exactly like somebody. You can have a lot of similarities in how you approach the markets, but you have to start to develop your own personality when you're in the markets. So the best example I can think of, and I heard Sai say this too, is like If Steph Curry is the best shooter in the world and he teaches you exactly how he shoots, form, and everything, that doesn't make, like, that's not going to make you shoot exactly like Stephen Curry. One, for you to replicate exactly his release, everything, his timing, and how he shoots the ball is not going to be likely that you're able to do that. But the point is, no matter if somebody teaches you what to do, you still have to always put your own personality into things. You have to make it your own. And so back to the charts. So you have this indication here on the 1 hour time frame. So after I get my indication on this 1 hour time frame, I like to track the correction on the 15-minute and 5-minute time frame. So I'm gonna hop down to this to the 15-minute time frame, and on this 15-minute time frame, we can see structure. We can see this correction and how it's forming. So right now, all we're doing is making lower lows and lower highs. So I'm gonna let price play. I only trade during New York and London, by the way. So on my charts, the green is London session. The New York is this orange, and so I'm gonna fast forward. So here you can see this first kind of break of structure overall. This is where you first see price starting to reverse and start to create the higher low that I wanted to see. Now we're in London session. Now price here's where price gives me another indication above this level. Price gave me another indication above this level. And now I'm looking for a correction of this of price right here. And so I ended up entering on this 5-minute time frame, and after we rejected this 15-minute level of support and resistance. My bad. All right, so I ended up entering on this 15-minute time frame level of support and resistance, as well as above where we got our indication level at. And I was pretty confident that price was going to go up, especially because I had other confluences, such as the fact that we broke and retest this counter trend line. We were respecting this trend line also on the higher time frame. We had this trend line as well. So this trade was looking good for buys, to be honest. And this is a trade that I would likely take again. It's just you can't win everything in the markets. So I entered, price immediately hit stop loss. And like I said, this was a good trade. You just can't win them all. So now I don't want to make this video too long. So I'm gonna speed it up. But this GBP USD trade is the second trade that I took that last week. And this was also on Monday. So right after I lost that GA trade, I entered this GU trade. And normally I don't trade. Normally I don't trade like two different times in a day. But this trade was an A+ setup for me. So I said, fuck it, why not? And I entered. And luckily this was a winner. I kind of went against my trading plan because after I lose in a day, I'm pretty much done. But when you see an A+ setup like this and you have high confidence on the direction, your entry signal is perfect, it's hard to say no to a trade like that, because you know those are the setups where you can put your money behind it and feel confidence as you hold the trade. So let me break it down to you from the daily time frame. So as I mentioned before, usually I like to start off by marking off my daily levels of support and resistance, which you can see here with these horizontal rays. So these are just major areas where price is reacting from. And then hopping down to the 4-hour time frame, here's where you can start to see structure overall. So we can see that price is clearly on a downtrend, like it's clear as day. This is beautiful market structure. Lower low, lower high, lower low. This can be considered maybe a a lower high, but if you zoom out overall, you see the bigger picture. Price is trending towards that downside. So I maintain my bearish bias even on this 4-hour time frame. And so on this 4-hour time frame, I also marked off those key levels with my zones that price was reacting off of. So you can see a level here, a level here, a level here. We have price touching 1, 2, 3, 4 times for this one. If I could drag this all the way back, but 1, 2, and then 3, and then for this level, you can see that price also reacted off of this level as well. And so this area overall had a lot of confluence, and I don't want to get into trend lines, and I don't want to make things too complicated, but those are things that you can add to your trading as well to give you more confidence in the overall direction. So overall, this area had a whole bunch of confluence. You can see this is the third bounce to the trend line. We're at a major level of resistance. I'm gonna hop down to the 1-hour time frame now, and you can even start to see like this shift of structure and how price started to react when it was at this level. So looking here, you can see, and mind you, I always look for my indication on either the 1 hour or the 30-minute time frame. So here's where we first got that shift in structure. So we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price broke here, confirming that we were going to head to the downside. And then price corrected here. Price was correcting here. And so I was looking at this point. Anything below this point, I saw as being green for sales. I just wanted price to indicate to me that we were going to continue on this downtrend structure. So we have our indication, like right here, price just tested this level, but I don't consider this a clean indication. I want to see at least 2 candles close below or above a certain level in order for me to consider it a true indication. So price gave me an indication. And then from that indication, as mentioned before, I always hop down to my 15-minute or my 5-minute time frame to look for that correction, to track it, to see what price is going to do and how it's going to react. And then also, based off of this 15-minute time frame, we did have a level of resistance right here. So with all of that being said, I was confident that sales, like it was time for sales. So my entry ended up being right here. Like I said, this was the indication, this was the correction, and I wanted to get in earlier, to be honest, but price was just extremely bearish, and it didn't give me like what I wanted to see up here. And so I ended up entering off of this 30-minute bearish variation pattern, and I was still confident entering a little bit later, because I saw price going at least out. Like I mentioned, I always look for a 2.5 RR risk to reward whenever I'm trading. So I knew that if price was going to sell, it could at least sell to this 4-hour level. So I just made sure that if I entered this low, I would still be able to get the proper reward that I was looking for. Otherwise, I wouldn't have entered the trade. And so I entered. As soon as I entered, price shot up. And so I was a little bit worried when price got here. But then once I saw how price was just reacting off of this 15-minute level of support and creating a double top as well, it gave me all the confidence in the world. And that's pretty much all I needed to see, to be honest, to like hold this trade with confidence. I knew that if price reacted from here, like we were going to go back down. So I'll let price play out. Let me go to the 30-minute. Price played out, started trending downward, making downward, creating downward structure. Now here, this was the annoying part, especially because price was just moving sideways for a good amount of time. And I also don't normally like to hold my trade trades for over 24 hours, but I will if I have to. I would consider myself an intraday trader, but I will swing if I have to, or if the opportunity presents itself. So overall, just looking at this, it was extremely annoying. And when price got here to my first TP, let's see, this was a 1.3 R, and I put that as my first TP because we had this structure level here on the 30-minute time frame, and you can see we reacted perfectly off of it. But yeah, so I went to break even after that point. I let price play out. Ended up hitting TP during London session. What is that? 2 days later. So I was asleep, and I definitely if I was up during this time, I definitely would have probably tried to target down here, and which for a 1 to 3 times my reward, and it would have gotten hit. But because I was asleep and I wanted to play it safe, I ended up getting out of the market right then and there. So as far as trades I actually took last week, those are the only 2 that I took. I ended up missing a trade on Euro JPY. I'm very tight about it, to be honest, but I mean, you can't catch them all. This also happened at like 3:50 a.m. So it's like I can't beat myself up over it. But just to touch on that briefly, this was what I call a continuation setup. So whenever price is going like extremely bullish, you kind of need to utilize those lower time frames in order to capitalize on a move. So I know I said before I usually look for my indication on my 30-minute or 1 hour. In this case, I got my indication on my 15-minute time frame. I'll explain it like in a future video. But just to go back real quick, we got the indication above this level, correction, as well as we were respecting this counter trend line, perfect bullish variation candle, stop loss under the lows, TP 1 to 2.5 times my reward, ended up playing out. TP hit, also could have held this for longer if I was actually in the trade, but like I said, can't catch them all. But as far as this trade breakdown, that's all I got. And I hope to see you next week. And I look forward to just dropping more gems on this channel. And maybe, I know if you're a complete beginner, a lot of this may be like what the hell. But as time goes, I'll drop more detailed and more specific videos taking you step by step through my approach to the markets. But thank you and peace out.